I recently discovered it might be possible to develop the skills of a ninja in just 72 hours. So me and my friend Paul decided to put it to the test to see if it could actually unlock real-life superpowers. In order to do this, there were 4 different skills which we needed to master. The first one was stretching, and although it may seem simple, you'll soon see why it's important for almost every other skill. The plan was every 15 minutes we would switch, going back and forth numerous times a day until we were mastered. The second skill was strength. On day 1, we weren't very good, although Paul was significantly better than I was.
That's really hard. Ooh, see stars.
What I was curious to see though was if in just 3 days there would be any improvement at all. We could only hold an L sit for a couple seconds.
I'm off the ground, but barely.
And there were some skills that were just nearly impossible.
One more try.
Now keep in mind, the skills that we're trying to do here are skills that take some people years to master.
But you can't put your elbows on yourself.
You can't use your elbows on your chest because then that's just a breakdancing move. What we're trying to do is hold yourself up just with your arm strength.
But we kept practicing anyways before moving on to the third skill, which was balance.
I got the balance aspect a little.
You have to hold this thing and then we'll pass the ball back and forth.
That's a good one.
To properly pull this one off, we needed to practice balance on both of our feet and our hands. And here's where you can start to see we would need to utilize both strength and flexibility.
Your feet so bad. This is working a muscle I've never used before.
And for the final, and definitely my favorite skill, we needed to master reaction time. Using a tennis ball, we broke this down into several different levels. Now this is something you can try at home. For level 1, we would stand facing forwards with our hands touching the wall. Only when the ball was thrown could we remove our hands to try and catch it. For level 2, we would walk away from each other until we were told to turn, while the objective was to throw the ball and not miss the catch, and whoever caught the most at the end wins. And for the final level, we would stand with our backs turned while the ball would be thrown to either one of us. The thrower would count down from 3 before telling us to turn. If we caught the ball, we would get a point. If we missed the ball, nothing would happen. And after being thrown to an equal amount of times, whoever has the most points would win. But the question is, will we see a big enough improvement practicing all these skills for only 3 days? Well, you could see on day 1 we weren't the best, but we practiced all the skills for several hours until we were completely exhausted. And in order to ensure the best results, there were a few more things we needed to do afterwards as well. Now here's a fact that may surprise you. If you work really hard at something, you'll quickly see big improvements, and that definitely applies to fitness as well, but if you work too hard, you'll actually see fewer results. For this reason, in order to try and optimize myself in the shortest amount of time possible, there were a number of things I needed to do to help with recovery. I ate a lot of really high protein foods, and while I would eat these high protein foods, I would do even more stretching as well. I'd been told this would help me see the biggest improvement. Combined with a ton of sleep, I would be ready to start training again hard on day 2. And I knew I was going to be sore, but if you watch closely, you might be able to see an improvement already.
Now obviously a huge part of becoming a ninja is stealth, which is why today's video is sponsored by Surfshark VPN. So while you watch us continue to train, let me explain how Surfshark can keep you hidden and why you'd want it to.
This hurts. I'm in a lot of pain from yesterday.
If you've ever used public Wi-Fi, you may know that you're quite vulnerable and at risk of getting your data stolen. Surfshark will essentially disguise your identity to prevent that. And with their powerful encryption, Surfshark will keep you protected and actually let you know if your personal data has been leaked anywhere. Not to mention, you can now access exclusive content like the entire Netflix catalog in over 15 different countries. Basically, it allows you to connect securely to any website. Have peace of mind knowing that you can receive files securely. Use your bank account on public Wi-Fi with unlimited device connection that can be used on basically any phone or laptop. What makes Surfshark stand out though are all of these aspects, making a 24-month plan one of the best VPN options available.
3, 2, 1, turn.
There's a 30-day money-back guarantee in case you aren't satisfied. And if you use my link QR code or enter the promo code SATARI, not only will it allow me to make better content for you in the future,
Another thing that we could also do to make it harder is what if he doesn't count down?
but it will also give you 3 months completely free.
Turn.
Whoa, that is scary.
Now here's where things really start to step up. As we improved, we made our training harder and harder to fit our skill level. We had already practiced almost 10 hours just over the course of 2 days. And when it came to the final day, it was time to put all of our skills to the test. Even with the flexibility, I was already noticing a huge difference. In fact, that's one area that I've always struggled with, often not even being able to touch my toes. And as we warmed up, it was time to see if we'd made any improvements on the strength aspect. And I'll be completely honest, we actually ended up doing way better than I thought we would. Paul was able to press himself up into handstand and balance there.
I didn't expect to see this much progress in 3 days.
And while I didn't quite do the same, there was definitely an undeniable difference. Even when it came to doing the L-sit on the first day, I could barely get off the ground for a second.
That was 13 seconds.
No way.
That was 27 seconds.
But there was still more work to do. Our balance was starting to get really good, where we can go into full pistol squat and catch the ball with very high accuracy. Even pushing each other over while balancing on one foot was actually surprisingly difficult. It was seeming so far like we were on the right track, but the part by far that we saw the most improvement in was the reaction time. Although we weren't perfect, we were easily catching the ball a very large percentage of the time. It was starting to feel a little more effortless, and I knew that this would be the most important skill to master. But to put it to the true test, we decided to try something that would put all 4 skills together, where on the 4th day we would have an epic paintball battle that would allow us to practice balance, strength, flexibility, and reaction time for a very good reason. For my first time ever playing paintball, it felt surprisingly intuitive. I was able to climb up on structures I feel I otherwise wouldn't and hold myself up. I was starting to feel like a real-life ninja. But here's the thing, ever since I started this channel, I've been obsessed with one thing: to truly optimize myself. So while I keep practicing strength, balance, and flexibility, I would need to take my reaction skills to the next level. In order to do this, I will need to master Ultra Instinct. Part 2 will be out next week.